I gratefully acknowledge this series was recorded on the unceded traditional territories of the Musqueam, Squamish, and Tsleil-Waututh nations. Indigenous peoples have maintained stewardship and jurisdiction over these lands since time immemorial.
And she said, so do you think you'd be interested in having, because she knew I didn't have a boyfriend at the time, do you think you'd be interested in having a girlfriend? And I remember I nearly drove off the I-5. Like, honestly, I could not believe it was coming out of her mouth.
Welcome to Mistergendered, the show where we swap labels for lived experience and get curious about life beyond the binary. Today we're talking to Lara Volgyesi, a landscape architect, entrepreneur, eco-cultural restoration consultant, and a parent to a very, very large dog. Let's join the conversation. So welcome, brother.
Thank you.
Do you want to tell the story about how we became brothers?
I don't know. I can think of a lot of reasons why we could be brothers, actually.
Right.
You had an event here. I can't even remember what the event was for, but it was catered and it was yummy. And we came in and I think we were just kind of hovering over the table and we walked towards the fellow and he just kind of pointed his fingers at us and said, "Brothers?" And we said, "Yeah, we're brothers, actually." And we kind of laughed. It was very funny. It was very funny.
Since,
but yeah,
been brothers. Okay, so to start out, to kind of orient ourselves, let's do a little snapshot of how you identify, and then we'll dig into kind of your origin story. So just, age, if you will, pronouns, if you have, gender identity, all those things.
Right.
All the labels that you choose to have at this point in your life.
55 years old, postmenopausal, just for the record. And she butch, that's me.
She butch, okay.
Lesbian, queer. Mm-hmm. I think
covers it.
That kind of covers it all, pretty much. Yeah,
love it. Think even way back to your childhood when you were a little, whatever it was, either a girl in dresses or a tomboy, little creature, and just kind of like how you came to be who you are today. Has that changed along the way? Just give us a bit of a story.
Yeah, I think about it a lot, right? And I often think, well, I don't know, like in our community, in our queer community, the story doesn't feel super unique. Although, when I was in kindergarten, for example, I was the Fonz for Halloween. It's a very timely day to be doing this interview because, I was the Fonz and I was, I was a good Fonz too, because I did snap my fingers in my kindergarten class, and I did have a bit of swagger.
A bit of swagger.
And I got kissed on the cheek by quite a few wee girls. So
well done.
So I kind of felt like as a wee kid, like starting at that age, I was a tomboy. I was the Evel Knievel kid. I was the road hockey kid. I was climbing the trees and I kind of think that at that young age, we're so blessed with not having anybody judge us, right? Like there's no judgment around. Well, it wasn't for me anyway. What wearing shorts versus a wee skirt, or playing with certain toys, or being sporty. I know that when I got a little bit older and I wanted to go and play soccer with the boys, there was no league for little girls. And so my mom was quite offended by that and went right into the community center and said, well, she wants to play soccer, so what are we going to do about it? And they said, well, we only have a boys league. And she said, okay, well, she's going to play in the boys league, I guess. And so she would come to the games with me. And so like it was very supportive, like at that age. But then, I was really into comics as well. And I don't know, I'm sure there's a lot of small tomboys that always looked at the ads in the back, and you could get little seahorses, or you could also send away for a kit to get big muscles. And I was that kid that wanted to have big muscles. And I remember I must have been like 7 or something. And I remember trying to get the guts, I guess, to go to my mom and say, hey, can I like send away for this kit, right? And it took me a long time, right? And then finally I did. This is a very pivotal moment. So let me just go back. Like what I was saying was that it felt like this very free time where you could just be who you were, not really get judged, like, by your friends at that time, or at least in my experience. I had a lot of support from my parents to be sporty and be the tomboy and be the free spirit. And then I remember that day, it was a very pivotal point in my life. I remember the day that I went to my mom and said, Mom, I pointed at the comic book and I said, I really want this. And she looked at me and she said, well, do you want a rubber penis as well? Oof. And I was like, and I remember just being feeling so ashamed because I never made this connection between big muscles and masculinity. It was all about, what I wanted for my body.
Right.
And, I wasn't thinking about, body parts and those kinds of things. So it was quite a horrific and, it was a bit of a game changer in terms of how
old were you?
I must have been like 7 or something.
Oh, wow.
Like I was super
tough.
young.
It's really tough.
And that's not a story. That's an experience that, it's only been in the last 3 years that I've actually shared it.
Really?
But it absolutely 100% shaped my identity and who I am today. Because if it wasn't, like, I think it just put things in perspective for me around, okay, this is what's ahead of me in the world. I'm going to be defiant, I want those big muscles. I have those big muscles.
You do.
I want those big muscles, and I'm going to have to act and behave out in the world differently. I have to watch myself. And I think that I kind of carried that. I carried that with me. I still carry it with me too. I mean, I think a lot of queer people, navigate the streets, navigate environments, and spaces, and can do that scan of the room and scan of the street and assess safety, whether it's, be careful what you say or how you behave. So
do you think after that point, little tiny thing, that you still, you said kind of rebellious, do you think you still, you didn't give up, but you were super careful, or you did give up, or like, because you kept playing sports, you kept like...
Yeah. I, at that age, I didn't understand it. And then as I got older, it stuck with me. It would come up at different times.
Right.
I think it was completely inappropriate of my mother to say it at the time.
Well, that goes without saying, Laura.
Yeah.
I would 100% agree with that.
Yeah, it was totally inappropriate for my mother to say something like that. And I don't think she actually understood, the potential damage that she does to a weak kid when she says something like that, because it was damaging. At different times, I wouldn't say it was consistent at all, but at different times, fears or insecurities and things that would come up, I absolutely think it stems from that message, right?
So how did you, like, as you grew up and started becoming teenager, puberty, all the things, how did you dress and how did you present? And how was that going for you?
Yeah, it was going great until I went to girls' private school. So when I was in elementary school, I was still the free spirit, like tomboy, dressing in jeans and whatever. And then my parents enrolled my sister and I to Branksome Hall. I grew up in Toronto, and we went to Branksome Hall, girls' private school, and I started in grade 7. So I remember the first day of class, I showed up in what I was into at the time, which was jeans and a long trench coat. And I was,
love it.
Right. And showed up, and because the first day you were allowed to wear civvies, I think they called them, right? You could just wear your whatever regular clothes. And then from then on, you were in kilts and shirts and Oxfords and stuff. So anyway, I showed up in my jeans and my trench coat, and man, it was like the shift from nobody judging you in elementary school. I mean, there was bullies and stuff in elementary school, but like nobody really looking at your outfit, wasn't having that experience. And then coming into here, which was like,
and they just hauled you into the office. Like, what happened?
Yeah, right. Well, what happened was that I immediately got picked on that first day. Like I had, you had to go to your homeroom, you had to pick your desk, put my things away. I put my trench coat like on the back of my chair. And then I went out and I came back in. My trench coat was on the floor. Somebody had shifted my desk so that it was a broken one. And I'm like kind of looking around going like, okay, this is a different, there's a different vibe going on here. And there's that place of having to do the scan of the room, assess safety level, what's going on. Like these are these things that are like, when you know you're queer and
Did you know that?
Well, yeah. I mean, I kind of feel like, in elementary school, I was kissing girls and things. I mean, I don't know if I knew
consciously kind of.
Yeah. But I mean, I certainly had attraction to wee girls, right? I mean, I had boyfriends as well, but I mean, for me, it was just like whoever I found attractive was okay. And, but yeah, I felt like I was being put in my place on that first day of.
So what happened? That's like 5 years, right? Or however long that is. What happened?
What happened was I kept my head down. I had two friends. They're still my dearest, closest friends right now. So 2 people that, anyway, the 3 of us just kind of found each other, and considering I'm still friends with them now, I know why we did, because they have solid values and respect for people and humanity, like, as I know them now, but, they were kind of quirky too. And so I think we just all kind of found each other anyway. So they saved me, but anyway, it was fine. I mean, it's just, like straight girls can be so nasty.
Yeah.
Like, I hate to say it.
Yeah.
And
then when was there like was coming out a pivotal moment, or was it just a sort of a progression of something, or like what did that look like?
Well, I had like no queer community at all through high school.
Right.
I had boyfriends. I kind of conformed to whatever, I didn't kind of let go of my values and things. I mean, not all my friends did, but not the ones that I was talking about, but, I had compassion for people, and I could see people for who they are, who they were trying to be, and those kind of things, right? Like, and so, but I wasn't out. I didn't have, there's a lot of people from my old high school now that are like, they're they're fully out, and it's awesome to see. And we all kind of knew each other a little bit, but there wasn't any bonding that way through high school, which is too bad. And so it was only when I came out west to go to university that I started sleeping with women, and a lot of them straight women too. That was a fun thing for me. I enjoyed that quite a bit. Anyway, and and then I remember my mom coming out. I must have been in, second year university. She came out to visit me from Toronto, and we were taking a little day trip down to Seattle, and I was driving, and she said, so do you think you'd be interested in having, because she knew I didn't have a boyfriend at the time. Do you think you'd be interested in having a girlfriend? And at that point I was like, sleeping with women, or having whatever flings, affairs, whatever. And I remember I nearly drove off the I-5. Like, honestly, I could not believe it was coming out of her mouth. And I said to her, I'll tell you what, I'll make you a deal. If I have a long-term, I know I'm going to have a long-term relationship with a woman, you'll be the first person that I tell. She said, okay, deal.
And that was just, thank you very much. I don't want to talk about that anymore.
No, she wasn't. I don't want to talk.
No, you.
Oh, me. Yeah. I was a bit taken aback, and I was trying to concentrate on driving and not killing my mother. And that was the case. I remember when I, met my first long-term, which I knew was going to be a long-term girlfriend, long-term partner, which it was for about 9 years. That's when I sent a fax. A letter, and I faxed it to my mom. My parents were divorced. I sent the same one to, a slightly different maybe, to my mom and to my dad.
Wow. So was this because it probably wasn't even email and was there then?
No, and I didn't want to have, I don't know if there was. I don't think there was.
90s? Yeah, early 90s.
It was the early 90s. Because it was
of...
96 or something that we started getting. No, it wasn't me 96, but it was.
Anyway, a fax. I love that. For those of you who don't know what a fax machine is.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, anyway, I wrote this letter, and then, punched in their phone number, slid it in. And there you go, it came out. And then I think I called them and said, I just sent you a fax. Can you go and read it? Huh. Because I just didn't have, I kind of knew that they weren't going to say anything. They weren't going to react.
But you didn't feel like calling.
But I didn't want to have the conversation.
It's like the equivalent of a text today.
Yes, pretty
right?
much. Yeah, this is a long text.
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway.
Right.
And then they were all kind of like, we knew it. I'm like, oh God, I hate that. That's like the worst response. It's like, it does not embrace the inner turmoil that
the
person.
The strength and the courage and all of it that it takes to just be yourself, and be out and be, especially as the whole reason for this series is, even more so being butch or mask or non-binary is another level of coping. Like you were saying, like always scanning. And today, do you still scan? I'm sure. Do you still scan the room for safety or?
I do. Because there's been, I think I scan, it's not so much the room. I think I scan walking on the street more. I've had some experiences on the street where, I've been like shoulder checked and stuff with people walking by and things like that, or given, long stares. And so I kind of do a bit of a scan on like, okay, who's up ahead and does, do I feel safe, or am I going to, make somebody feel threatened or something?
Right.
Yeah. So I kind of feel that.
It's interesting. I keep my eyes down a lot.
Yeah.
Maybe, I don't know whether that's good or bad, because then I don't know what's coming if something's coming. But it's like I don't want it. Sometimes when Tamara and I are walking, she watches.
Right.
And sort of gives me the report on how people, or just like, especially if it's summer and I have like no shirt,
sure. Yeah.
You can see its flat chest and they're like, what is that? What is that? You could just see the like.
What does Tamara say?
She said people really stare.
People are staring?
Really staring, yeah. And like looking up, looking down, looking like what is what. But you've had like change room, washroom experiences.
Oh yeah. Yeah, totally.
There's a couple of those doozies.
Oh yeah, I have them all the time. And I get more vocal about calling out the women who, come in with this shocked kind of look or comments or something. I get a lot. I work out. So I'm at community center And when I go into the washrooms there, like they have a like a single stall washroom that you can go in, if you want. But I'm like, whatever. I just more space, somewhere to put my clothes. Like if I'm changing,
just there is a sign. These are city, gender inclusive. Everybody welcome. Sorry, carry on.
Yeah, and so, I often feel like. So when I go in there, I have to do a little cough, which sounds, people can hear my voice.
Right.
It's not like a, male cough. But I get, and I think the hardest thing for me in the washroom, especially, is when people are in a stall and they come out and they see me and I'm washing my hands, right? And they have this, terrible, kind of horrific, frightened look on their face, like oh my God, like
right.
There's this man in the women's washroom, right? And I'll turn around and I'll say, like, I'm an adult. I think I know which washroom I want to be in and can be in. But then I'm left with this feeling of like, okay, she thought that I was a guy, and most women know what the fear of men is like. And so not only am I like being misgendered, but I'm also concerned about her well-being because she's freaking out that she thought that she was under threat.
Yeah.
And it's like, why do I have to hold both of those? Right. It's like this, dual reality of like, know what it's like to be a straight woman and know what it's like to be a queer person.
Yeah.
Or just living in like generally like heterosexual space and queer space, right? Whereas clearly that woman doesn't even think about our realities.
Right. Right. And do you find that when you're speaking up more, is that help or
no, it's not help. It's just being pissed off.
But does it help you?
Does it help me?
Like get the pissed offness out a bit, or feel more empowered or something? I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's about feeling more empowered for sure. So, and I just think like it's okay to be really vocal about what your reality is, and speak up for yourself, right?
Yeah, it's so invasive. It's so invasive.
It is. And so I just tend to say things like, do we have a problem here? And as soon as I start talking, they're like, oh, no, we just thought. I'm like, yeah, well, you shouldn't then just think. Because, there shouldn't be a problem here. It's not everybody is going to look like you.
Yeah, for sure.
But is entitled to be in this space. And no, you're right. Right. So it's a little bit of an educational moment. Too.
Yeah. I want to get t-shirts made because I don't know if you find this, if I'm just walking into a washroom, especially airports or public places, I'll be walking in and a woman will be coming out and she'll go, look at me. And then like, look up like this, look at the sign and then look at me and then look up.
I know. I get that. Yeah.
So I want a t-shirt that said, made you look.
Oh, that's a good one. Yeah.
Anyway.
Oh my God, the amount of t-shirts we could have made, right?
I know, right? With yes.
Different messages. Yeah. Sad.
So what about like least favorite thing to be called? Like, does it bother you if you get ladies or girls, or it's like, sir, at least they kind of get that you're butch, but if it's ladies, like, what's that like for you out there in the world?
Well, I prefer nobody really titles me with anything. Like, I don't need to be a man.
Fair. Yeah.
Or a sir. I go, there's only one, my butcher. When I go to my butcher.
Yeah.
He's got a whack of young staff who are totally like on my page.
Right.
But then there's a couple of the old dudes who are the master butchers or whatever. Right. And so often I'll come in, they're like, sir, what can I do to help you or whatever? And I'm like, sir has nothing to do with this transaction at all.
Right.
Like gender, like you don't have to call me anything. And plus nobody uses that language anymore. So like, and then all the young ones are kind of winking and looking at me going like rolling their eyes and stuff like that.
But the ladies, I think that's what gets me. Like I'll be out, for dinner or something, and it's like nails on a chalkboard for me.
Yeah.
Ladies, it's like, what are you seeing here? But the customer service thing, it's like, it is kind of old school. Like it's a sign of respect to say sir, ma'am. But with body language, you can communicate that politeness or respect or whatever it is that you need, that you feel that you need to do to your customer. Like you don't have to say that.
Yeah, so, like how about, hey, good morning. What can I do?
You?
Yeah. What can I do for you? You know what I mean? Like, how can I help you? I mean, it's just
all you need.
It's so easy. It's so easy.
So when you go out every day, like, do you think about where you're going? Do you think about what you're wearing? Do you kind of check yourself or like think about how people might respond? I mean, that being the end thing here is that how are people going to respond to you in a positive or negative way?
Like now it's a bit of I'm just, I'll dress butch. I'll dress like most of my clothes, men's section clothes. I have tailored shirts and vests and pants and things. And I don't really care because I think I look good enough. Right out in the world. And I do have people like, especially with my haircuts and stuff, people go, I like your look or whatever.
Oh, nice.
And I always go, if I had time, if it wasn't passing somebody on the street, I'd say, what does that mean to you? Like, I like your look. I want to say like, so what is it something you want to look like, but you feel like you can't? Like, I want to have this bigger conversation with people, but it's like very fleeting. And I'm like, oh, thanks. That's really sweet or whatever. And I just like, I want to go for a coffee and talk about that.
No, it is so true. Because would you say that, I don't know, in work or just social situations or whatever, do you get a lot of compliments? Like, do people say those kinds of things, or is it less of that? If you, like, okay, you don't have a super femmy kind of wife. So, which I do.
Right.
So I totally know what that, like the difference of how people respond to her versus me. But I'm just wondering if you have a sense of that people compliment you on your outfits or your look, or if there's, a range of the way people respond from positive to negative.
I know I've been in events, like bigger events, like public, whatever, tickets to something, right? And I've shown up in a bow tie and a shirt and a vest and whatever. And I've run into people that don't normally see me dressed like that just because it's a bit more semi-formal or whatever.
Right.
Less casual than what I'm normally wearing. And you're like, wow, like you look smart or you look good or whatever. Yeah, nobody bolting the room, or they might have bolted the room and I didn't pay attention or think it has anything to do with me. But but also as like just in my profession, right? So as a trained as a landscape architect, but being very hands-on and on construction sites for most of my career, like I'm in steel toe boots, I'm in jeans, I'm in, hard hats, I'm wearing...
Sorry.
Yeah. Like I don't think too much about, because I've spent so many days out in the field and wearing work gear. It just feels like it's so part of who I am. And so I don't think... And all the men, because I mean, obviously it's male dominated industry and stuff, and profession for the most part, especially in the construction sector.
Contractors,
that I just always fit in. And so I think I haven't paid too much attention about who are the people that are bolting from me and bolting the room.
Right. It's context, right? It's like,
totally.
just you think about your work versus my work and different world, like it's different worlds, right?
It's totally different.
So, you are actually you're through menopause?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Good for you.
I know.
Do you ever like sometimes I think for me, like after I had my surgery and sort of leaned more into my, butch non-binary identity, when I'd look at my friends, like when I'd look at you and other butch friends, I'd be like, menopause? Like, because you're kind of like, it just doesn't always fit almost because it's so identified with women.
Right. Yeah.
And even breasts, like I would look at my friends and go
I
like,
know.
why do you have those?
I know.
those
Childless
things
by
ever-
choice. Why do I have a uterus? Why did I have to experience all that bleeding all those years? Like,
There was no use for it.
No use for it. It's super cruel.
Yeah.
And then you get into, and then it's menopause, and then you got the hormones. So
Yeah. Let's do some quick and snappy, some fun stuff.
Okay.
First thing you do in the morning.
I kiss my dog. Because she's
I was
usually
gonna say,
at
if
my
I
feet.
asked you that like a year and a half ago or something, it'd be different. But
Yeah.
your dog, yeah.
No, but just because she's lying on my legs. Yeah.
Okay. Favorite comfort food?
Ooh, chocolate.
Chocolate?
Lots of chocolate.
Any kind? Dark?
Milk.
Milk? Okay. No. Clearly you're a dog person. Were you ever a cat person?
I had a cat growing up.
Did you?
Yeah, but I got attacked by a cat, not mine, but I got attacked by a cat. And so, no, I've always wanted a dog.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Favorite animal, pet.
How about your favorite women's sport to watch right now, if you can choose?
Sport?
Yeah, women's sport.
Oh, WNBA.
Okay.
Hello.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like for so many reasons.
Yes, for so
Right?
many reasons. I'm totally addicted. And I will have coffee with Courtney Williams any day.
Okay.
Yeah.
See what I can do.
And Hank Hanks.
Would you be drawn to a busy pride parade or prefer a quiet beach?
Pride Parade would be great.
Okay.
Thanks. Yeah.
And then go to the beach after.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, what kind of song, like, is there a song or type of music that just gets you up dancing?
Funk.
Because I know you love to dance. Funk.
I love to dance. Funk.
Love it. Okay, favorite thing about Vancouver or place to go or things to do? What do you love?
In Vancouver? Trails. Like UBC trails right now.
It was so great. They're so close.
They're so close.
Yeah. So now I just want to just reflect a bit and talk about representation and what it means to you. And I was also thinking, I was wondering if you would talk about your experience being in the film, not quite that, and doing that butch photo shoot, or because I know that you talked about that having an impact on you.
Very much. Yeah. Yeah. The whole time, like the time period, like being part of the making of that film, your film, right?
So for context, Lara is married to Ali, who's the director of the film, and Not Quite That is a documentary, for those of you who don't know, that I was a subject of, and Lara and some of the other folks that we're talking to were in it.
Yeah, that was like, I think the whole, like, being part of like all of it, all the different side conversations, the pieces that were on film, the photo shoot, the dinner parties. I didn't expect to like that I would be impacted. Like, it kind of came, that butch photo shoot brought up so much for me, because I remember just going like, this just doesn't happen. Like, this would never happen. Like, nobody would ever come to me and say, hey, I'd like to take some photos of you to celebrate you and the way you look and how you are in the world. So I found it really profound and empowering, in the sense that when did we start the filming? It was during COVID, wasn't it?
Yeah, and before COVID.
And just
I don't quite remember when that was, but it could have been in like 20 or 21.
Yeah. In that time frame and since that film, I feel so much more empowered to just show up who I am. And I think that the film and your story and being part of that and hearing it, listening to it unfold and being so close to you during all of it, I think it was a bit of a shock to me too that these are things that I had never really given myself some space to feel. And how needed it was. And so I'm really grateful for how your story unfolded and all the things. Like, I know that it brought up a lot for you, but I feel like I was kind of on that journey with you too.
Right.
And so it made me think quite a bit about the importance of just being who you are and being comfortable with who you are. And if people don't like it, you don't have to be friends with everybody, and it doesn't matter. And it's not yours to fix. They got to fix themselves and have the desire to do it.
Right.
So the Butch photo shoot was, a celebration of being able to be seen in the context of who we are, like,
and how we feel the best, and
exactly, like the clothes that we like to wear,
the muscles that we like to have,
the muscles that we like to have. Even, like, I could be that weak kid and I don't have to have like a little rubber penis, as my mom once told me. You know what I mean? Like, totally. You can actually show up and stand on this stage and be celebrated. So I'm grateful.
It just occurred to me, and I hadn't really thought of this, that the fact that I was hearing your process and how it was affecting you and other people that were at the dinner party and stuff, it really helped me. Because imagine if everybody was just like, I don't know, like, you know what I mean? Like, who didn't
there was a
embrace
collective support.
It, or there was a collective, and people kind of thinking about it deeply, and that helped, because it was like, okay, if this is meaning something to people, then I'll keep going. So,
and I think that it caught everybody a bit off guard too, because I think that we all like to consider ourselves mature,
worked out,
therapied out women, right, or queer or whatever, and that we got our things sorted, right? And then here we are, like, postmenopausal, a lot of postmenopausal butches sitting around going like, oh my God, never thought of that. Oh my God, haven't felt these feels before.
Right.
Or
also because we've never seen it or heard it, or
true.
So few conversations and representation, coming back full circle. But for sure. What are you the most hopeful about right now, if anything?
Hopeful. Like, is this one of the snappy questions?
No, we're past snappy. We're back to deep and meaningful.
Okay. What am I hopeful? Well, I'll tell you something. So it wasn't last Pride. It was a couple of years ago. I went to the Birdhouse afternoon event. You might have even been there. You were.
Okay.
Yeah, you were. And remember, we've kind of felt like we were the elders.
Old. Yeah.
So we were kind of off in the corner. We were jumping on the inflatable things, but we were kind of off in the corner. It was supposed to be a pool party, but the pool never really surfaced. And I remember we were all talking about it, and just, and looking around at the crowd, the younger crowd, and kind of how they were showing up. And I know it was Pride, but I mean, you could tell that a lot
they would show up like that anyway.
They would show up like that anyway. This was just like, they were showing up because they were, it was the day to celebrate who they were. And I remember thinking, like, I just did not have any of that. Like, the hope for me was like seeing that. And I know there's terrible things happening especially in America right now, so when you say, like, what do you find hopeful? I'm like, but being able to be in that space and kind of sit back and say, like, okay, this is not my generation, but this is what's coming up behind me, and good for them and lucky for them. And let's hope it continues.
Yep.
So that gave me hope that their existence might be a little bit easier than perhaps ours might have been.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing.
So, okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
What a great conversation. Thanks for being a part of this.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
Thanks for listening to Mistergendered, the show where we swap labels for lived experience and get curious about life beyond the binary. On Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok, MrGenderedPod, web, MrGendered.com, email, hello@MrGendered.com. That's MISTER. The doc, Not Quite That, is at notquitethat.ca, free to watch at TELUS Originals, Optic TV, and Knowledge Network.